Just to finish up, obviously, this is our last rugby show of 2025. We will be turning the page quickly into 2026 with Ulster Munster on Friday and Leinster Connacht on Saturday. I would throw a couple of quick fire questions at you. We didn't prepare for this, so I am putting you on the spot slightly. But they won't be difficult, don't worry. As we finish 2025, the best rugby player in Ireland is who?
Ooh, I think the best and the most important are probably two different things. Look, Gibson Park, in the system that both Leinster and Ireland play is really the key guy in my opinion. We saw how much we missed Joe McCarthy in autumn, and the way the game has gone, it just trends towards these power athletes, and he certainly is one of those. Tyke Byrne, he was in the team of the year. I know I'm probably cheating here by picking a few guys, but
Tyke Byrne was the guy who came to my head when I asked the question, I think.
Yeah. No, look, he's a phenomenal rugby player, and is going to be such a key part of Ireland competing in the next World Cup and everything that Munster do.
The best player in the world right now today is
there's only one man for that. Like that game last night, it was comical how better than everyone he was. Like I think he had 2 tries, 5 assists. Quite often when you're watching it on the TV, you can kind of go, oh, that's on. He will do stuff that hasn't even crossed your mind. Like the crossfield kick that he hits, like, I don't know, they're 10 metres out from the La Rochelle try line.
It's Antoine Dupont, sorry. It's Antoine Dupont you're talking
about. We
know
who it is.
You don't even need to say who it is, but people do, yes.
Yeah. Like physically, he picks the ball up, he assesses one side of the breakdown, it's not on, goes the other side, bang, fend off like a cannon into like a powerful forward, fends him off, has the acceleration to go away. His box kicking is just different level because he kicks off both feet. It's a total nightmare for the opposition backfield to cover him. It was arguably what won them the Champions Cup against Leinster because, arguably one of the best fielders in the game. Like Hugo had a tough day that day. But yeah, look, he's head and shoulders. He's the best to have ever played the game, in my opinion. And he looks better after that injury. I don't know how that's possible, but he certainly hasn't lost any speed or power.
Yeah, great to see him hit the ground running because an ACL, sometimes it can take like a good period of time for someone to get back to their best. But no, as you say, he looks scintillating. So no doubt he'll be in Paris on Thursday in a couple of weeks' time against Ireland. The best coach in the world right now, I'm assuming you're going to say a certain individual, but in case there's anyone else you think, who's the best coach in the world right now?
Oh, look, 2-time winning World Cup, number 1 team in the world. He's always one step ahead, Razzie. He is always one step ahead. And when I'm talking about, defensive coaches and attacking coaches working in a cohesive fashion, he's doing that with South Africa. When we're talking about hybrid backs and forwards with the likes of Esterhazen, he's doing that. He's willing to try stuff and fail, but that is often the best way to learn, and that is why he's the trendsetter. And for the moment, he's one step ahead, and possibly 2.
Yeah, because as you say, like the CV, we know what he's won. He's been good at refreshing the coaching staff, getting different ideas in. Some selection decisions he's made have been criticised and haven't worked, but he's fairly ruthless at quick at correcting them. So like the mistakes he has made, he's kind of changed the 10 and then gone, okay, no, we'll go back to this guy. Or when he's experimented and hasn't gone wrong or right, as you say, he's changed it.
Yeah, and even like you look at how he manages the media. He uses the media as a weapon. He's very strategic how he does it. He'll plan certain stuff. The mind games he does when he's picking his team, start of the week, didn't do it for us for whatever reason. When South Africa were playing Ireland, the only time they didn't announce the team early. Having a referee part of the team, part of the coaching team, like now France are doing it. Now we're talking about doing it. And then the coaching team that he surrounded himself with, like Tony Brown was a really smart, and that's added an extra dimension to South Africa's attack. And Irish guys like Jerry Flannery's doing a great job there, and like the real brains behind that South African operation is Felix Jones. Like how we didn't get him back into the Irish system is one of the biggest missed opportunities that has come in this World Cup cycle.
Don't worry, that's the end of the quick wire questions. I'm not going to throw you any curveballs. I just wanted to throw a few things at you and get your thoughts. Well, that's it for 2025. Thanks to everyone who listened to the rugby content this year. We'll have more podcasts throughout the week, of course. Ian will be back with us in 2026. It promises to be a great year. We have Champions Cup around the corner, then into the Six Nations, starting with that brilliant game on a Thursday night in France. So we all have that to look forward to over the next while. Ian, thanks so much for joining us, not only today, but throughout the year.
Thanks a million, Will. It's been a pleasure, and Happy New Year to everyone listening.